Good morning, everyone. It's been a while since I've done an update. I've been concentrating on my job, and it's really hard for me to struggle between two things at once. Usually I do everything like 100%, but let me just show you. So she is finished. There's her little shoes, and I have a whole entire like short showing me putting her together, but look how pretty she turned out. I love her little bubbles on the wings. So not very good lighting, and she's barely on this. Like, this is not, obviously this is not a stand, but that's how she ended up turning out, which I think is so pretty. So cute, right? I love her face. I love her eyes. They like sparkle. Okay, so she is finished. So number one is actually finished. So number two is the costume I'm working on for this girly. She's next. See if we can look at her a bit. There she is. So we have all of her wig. Everything's finished on her except for her costume, which is like the funnest part, and her wings, of course. So what I'm planning on doing on her is I'm going to do a bodysuit. I actually found this piece. I really like to play with textures and color play, meaning layers of, because it's all one shade almost, then I use layers and texture to create that interest. So I'm thinking of using a piece of felt, or it's kind of like velvet for her bodysuit. So I think I'll do that. And I'm going to bead it. This one's going to be beaded heavily. I wanted her to be beaded. Here's her skirt. Where's her? This is going to be the underskirt. So she's going to have this layer first. And probably, just like I did with this one, I used a super stiff. It's so stiff. I used this, which is like extremely stiff, to kind of make it fluff out. So I'll probably use that under as well. And then I'll use this layer. So this, the lace, is going to lay on top like that. So right now I'm trying to figure out my pattern. And let's see. So this is a piece of paint that I can't get off, so don't worry, that's nothing gross. But let's look at this. So this actually is gonna be quite a long piece. Oh my goodness, this could take me a while. But I wanted it to be really, really full, just like hers. So in age, so how the age works is she is slightly older than her. There she is, see? She's gonna be, actually, she's probably around like 8, and she's gonna be the age of probably like 11-ish. So she is a little bit taller. She's getting her growth spurt in. And I always have to do like a little story. So, but she's still little, so she's still gonna have the skirt, and she's still gonna have the shoes, not with the little bubbles on top, not like this, because those are pretty babyish. Like, I'm not gonna do the little bubbles. I'll do something a little bit more grown up, because she's a little bit, you know, she's like a tween, right? She's a little more into style. How her sleeves are going to be, I want them all to be similar, but not the same, obviously. So her sleeves they ended up being so pretty, I think. They have a little bit of beading on top and a little bit of the feathering. So I was thinking, and then little flowers. Hers is heavily flowered, lots and lots of flowers everywhere. So hers, I don't think I'm going to do as many, like this is literally what I'm doing for a flower on her skirt, is it's a feather flower. And how I'm doing that is I'm taking these, where is it? Here it is. I actually did create these, which is, you can see all my stuff like scattered. So this, I was thinking of putting there. Maybe I could actually, and stagger them. That brings in it more of like your brighter white. See how, notice how this is almost like a cream tone? And this is a brighter white. Oh, actually, I think I actually really like that. And then I also added, okay, so on my short that I posted, I had posted this and this. But don't mind the train. It comes through town. It's pretty loud. Actually, we can see it. You want to see it real quick? Oh, there's a train. We still have a little bit of snow. I know. I know. I'm like, squirrel. Oh, look over there. Okay, so anyways. Wow, how long do I have to, how many flowers am I going to actually have to make for this? So we have our feather flower, and I was going to show you how I made that. So my sister gave me a most gorgeous, beautiful wall hanging, and it had these strips on it. And as I was looking for costume design ideas, I found the fur, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So I'm cutting it. Sorry, sister. Don't worry, it'll be used for something even more beautiful than just a wall hanging. But I'm cutting it about there. I'm folding these in half this way, like that. So I'm squishing it in half. So it creates this kind of like little fringy fur fluff thingy. And then I'm putting a bead on top. So that, and then I'm following the pattern of the lace. And if you're creating, if you want to do something similar to this, it's really easy to follow a pattern. So go to the thrift store or grab something. This was actually a vest that I cut up, and I just picked the design I liked off the vest because it had multiple designs, and I just am following this. And it makes it really easy to bead on, so I don't have to create my own pattern, although I am kind of creating my own pattern by using my own artistic design. But what I'm doing is I'm beading around these, and I inserted a little pearl. Then I decided to use a little bit of the silver because it is a silver and white. It's going to be a snow fairy. I have a little flower right here. You can see I was trying to test out patterns. First I did this. I beaded the pearls around, and I just didn't like it. And then I beaded I created a little flower with like your little like fringy stuff on the inside, and I just didn't like that either. It just wasn't elegant enough for the age I was going for the fairy. So I might just leave that in there just cause, but I think this is gonna hang really pretty. This has a bit of weight on it. I smacked my hand getting the groceries out of the car yesterday. That's why I have a mark on there. We do have a cat, but that wasn't from the cat. Let me just pull that off, and I'll hold it up so you guys can kind of see. I know I'm going into a lot of detail, but I feel like it's important, especially if you are an artist and you want to do something similar. It's important to describe the process, and I think I'm going to take more time to describe more things. It's kind of like a mini tutorial, but not really, just like, I guess, a friendly tutorial vibe. But so that's how it's going to see how it hangs. And before I hung this weight on the end, it kind of was almost like flipping up, it turning, like you'll see, watch. See how this hangs on like that? See how it almost goes in, like it just doesn't have, it's gonna curl up basically on the skirt. It's not gonna hang straight. So the weight solved the problem. There you go. It's gonna hang real pretty, I think. So my plan is to leave this kind of more simple because you're gonna turn this in and then you're gonna gather it. So you're gonna have a lot of gathers up there. So I don't really think I need a bead on top. So what I added to, from the short I showed, I just showed this and this, but I went in and I added an additional pearl. And look at how that adds so much, right? So this is how it was before, just a bit more simple. And then just that pearl adding in makes it look even more complicated. And then I went in and decided I was gonna add these tiny little fluffs of tulle with a little bead in that. So I'm gonna add that there and here, kind of this empty spot in between each one of these little flowers. And then I went in, and I'm still working on this, but I really wanted to create a 3D effect because it is a fairy. Why not? I wanted it to have these little embellishments popping off of it. So I have this, see how it just kind of sticks out, and also on the flower as well. So there is this little kind of a 3D pop. And how I made these are the same as I made on her tiara. So if you go back and watch how I made the tiara, you'll see how I made that, and I just basically did little short versions of that. And I'm staggering, so there's going to be one, let's see, you can't really see it, but it does create this really neat kind of textural overall effect once it's finished. So these are going to pop out of her skirt, like side view. It's real pleasing, I think, to the eye overall, like the overall effect. And it makes it look even more complicated, like you just went all crazy. And it's not, you just do it step by step. So I think I'm gonna do every other one is gonna have this little embellishment. Oh, and then I was like, no, that's not enough. So notice the spaces, these little, the lace has these little like gaps right here. And I liked that effect, but then I was like, wait, what if I went in and added pearls? What would that look like? So last night, I was like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and add pearls. So now I'm sewing, let me get it to flip the right way so you can see. Now I'm sewing, I'm going back in and I'm sewing, I'm staggering the pearls. See how I'm doing that? There's the one here, and then I'll do one there and one there, and I'll stagger it. It's gonna take a long time, but I think it's gonna look so much even more prettier. See, just look how much more rich it makes it and more in depth. So once I get a row going, because basically I'm using this as my pattern right here. This half is kind of like what then I'll repeat all the way down. So I'm trying to figure out my pattern first, and I keep layering elements. So I think after the pearls go in, then I'll finish with the little wires, and then I think I'll be done with my pattern. I was thinking of just duplicating this, but I think I might stagger, and it would make it a little bit. So then it will create a more of a color play, I think. All right, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. This is actually turning it into kind of a long one, but I think it's more, it's important to do more in-depth coverage of what I'm working on, so it can be more of a teaching instrument. And you know what, I probably will go in, and if there's any spaces left, and maybe up into here, I'll scatter up, I'll go in and glue on the teeny tiny little pearls that I have. And then I just got in a package of my bling, so I might tie this bling in up here with the glue on, maybe. This almost feels like it should have, what do you guys think? Don't you think it should have some, like if I just put this on there and sew it, it almost seems like, and right here, what's gonna go on those spots? I feel like I need to come up with something for those as well. So definitely I'm still playing with this pattern. And once I have this finished, it will be, I think the assembly of her will be quite quick after that, because I already have the shoes made. The crown will need to be, actually though, the wing design. I like the wing design. I do like how that turned out, but it's not what I had in my mind. I had something much more textural, and because this is like my old, I mean, it does have a lot of texture because I did the beading. But this is similar to my older fairy design. This is actually not installed correctly. It's supposed to stick up higher like that. But I really wanted, I can't really describe actually what I want. I want to do segments on the wing and have it segmented, and each segment a slightly different iridescent color. So as the wing turns, you're gonna have this color play. So that, I'll have to figure out how to do that, definitely. Okay, so that's where I'm at, and it's been a while since I posted, but it might, I'll just keep you guys updated as I move along. Kind of similar to this, actually. See how the color picks up different pieces as you turn it? How can I incorporate that look into the fairy design without it looking sequiny? Figure it out. Oh, I got my nails done too, you guys, by the way. Looks much nicer, right? Okay, bye.